What if the very things holding you back aren't real? Imagine a life where limitations are merely illusions. In this video, we're not just talking about fear. We're breaking it down, piece by terrifying piece, to reveal the incredible freedom waiting on the other side. So stick with me as we deconstruct fear and unlock a path to genuine liberation. First, let's get into the anatomy of fear, moving beyond just our basic instincts. We often think of fear as this simple, primal reaction. You see a snake, you jump back. And that's true to an extent. That's your ancient survival mechanism kicking in, the one that kept our ancestors alive for thousands of years. But in our modern world, this system can seriously misfire. Think about it. That same fight-or-flight response designed to save you from a saber-toothed tiger is now being triggered by a tough conversation with your boss, a looming deadline, or even just the thought of public speaking. The perceived threat is different, but the biological reaction is startlingly similar. Your heart races, your palms get sweaty, and your mind goes into overdrive. This is what we call conditioned fear. It's not about immediate physical danger, it's learned. It's the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of not being good enough. So how does this happen? Let's dive into the neuroscience for a moment. Deep inside your brain, you have a little almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. This is your brain's alarm system. When it perceives a threat, real or imagined, it sends out a signal. This signal then travels along neural pathways, and if a particular fear is experienced repeatedly, that pathway gets stronger and stronger, like a well-trodden path in a forest. Over time, this fear becomes an automatic, almost unconscious part of your daily patterns. Your brain learns to associate certain situations, people, or even thoughts with that feeling of fear, creating a feedback loop that can be incredibly hard to break. This is how ancient survival mechanisms get tangled up in the complexities of modern life, cementing fear into our routines and holding us back from what we truly want. Now that we understand the what and how of fear, let's talk about the stories we tell ourselves. This is where fear really gets its power. Our brains are natural storytellers. To make sense of the world and our feelings, we create narratives. When we feel fear, we immediately start weaving a story around it to explain why we feel that way. I'm afraid of this presentation because I'm going to mess up, and everyone will think I'm incompetent. I can't start my own business because the economy is bad, and I'll definitely fail. Sound familiar? These stories, these self-limiting beliefs, are the prison bars we build around ourselves. The tricky part is that we often mistake these stories for facts. We repeat them so many times that they become our reality. We start to believe that we asterisk our fears. This is the great illusion. The narrative isn't the truth. It's just a narrative. And the most powerful thing to realize is that since you are the author of that story, you also have the power to rewrite it. This process begins with identifying these stories. What are the specific beliefs you hold about yourself in the world that are fueled by fear? Write them down. Say them out loud. See them for what they are. Just stories. So, how do we begin to rewrite these narratives and dismantle the very structure of fear? The key is a technique I call conscious deconstruction. It's about being a detective in your own mind, examining the evidence and challenging your assumptions. The first step is awareness. You need to catch fear in the act. The next time you feel that familiar knot of anxiety, that urge to retreat, pause. Instead of getting swept away by the emotion, observe it. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of right now? What is the story I'm telling myself about this situation? Once you've identified the story, it's time to challenge it. This is where you put your narrative on trial. Ask critical questions. What is the evidence that this story is true? What is the evidence that it's false? Have I ever been in a similar situation where the feared outcome didn't happen? What's a more empowering, more realistic story I could tell myself instead? For example, if your story is, "I'll fail if I try," you can challenge it with, "Every attempt is a learning experience, and even if it doesn't work out perfectly, I will have grown from the process." By systematically questioning and replacing these fear-based narratives with ones rooted in possibility and growth, you start to weaken those old neural pathways and build new, more resilient ones. Let's make this practical. I want to introduce you to the fear hierarchy exercise. It's a powerful tool from cognitive behavioral therapy that helps you face your fears in a manageable step-by-step way. First, pick a specific fear you want to overcome. Let's say social anxiety. Then, create a list of situations related to that fear, ordering them from least scary to most terrifying. For social anxiety, the bottom of your list might be something simple, like making eye contact and smiling at a stranger. A middle step could be asking a cashier how their day is going. A higher step might be attending a small social gathering. And the top of your hierarchy could be initiating a conversation with someone new at a party. The goal isn't to jump straight to the top. The goal is to start with the easiest step and practice it until it feels comfortable and the anxiety subsides. This is called exposure. By repeatedly exposing yourself to a mildly fear-inducing situation and seeing that nothing catastrophic happens, you're actively rewriting your brain's fear response. You're teaching your amygdala, hey, this situation is actually safe. Once you've mastered one step, you move to the next one on your hierarchy. This gradual process builds confidence and momentum, proving to yourself, through direct experience, that you are more capable than your fear tells you. It's not about being fearless. It's about acting in spite of fear, one small, courageous step at a time. As we face our fears, it's crucial to cultivate what I call fear resilience. This isn't about eliminating fear entirely. That's not realistic or even desirable. Fear, in its proper context, is a useful guide. Resilience is about changing your relationship with fear. It's about developing the inner strength to feel the fear and move forward anyway. A huge part of this is self-compassion. When you're trying to overcome deep-seated fears, you will have setbacks. There will be days when the fear feels overwhelming. In those moments, it's easy to fall into self-criticism, which only reinforces the fear. Instead, practice treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend. Acknowledge the feeling without judgment. Say to yourself, this is hard, and it's okay to feel scared. This simple act of validation can take so much power away from the fear. Another key component of resilience is focusing on your why. What is the meaningful goal on the other side of this fear? Is it a more fulfilling career, deeper relationships, a greater sense of personal freedom? When your why is strong enough, it provides the motivation to push through the discomfort. It transforms fear from a stop sign into a signpost, pointing you in the direction you need to go to grow. Finally, let's talk about turning fear into fuel. This is the ultimate alchemy, the final stage of our journey. Once you've learned to deconstruct your fears, challenge your narratives, and build resilience, you can begin to see fear not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity. Every time you feel fear, it's a signal. It's as a compass pointing directly at an area in your life where you have the potential for massive growth. The things that scare you the most are often the things that will lead to the most profound transformation. Think of it like this: your comfort zone is a nice place, but nothing ever grows there. Real expansion, real freedom happens just outside of it. Fear is simply the gatekeeper to that new territory. So when you feel it, instead of retreating, you can learn to lean in with curiosity. Ask, what is this fear trying to teach me? What new skill or quality is it asking me to develop? By reframing fear in this way, you shift from a victim mindset to one of empowered action. You start to see challenges not as threats, but as adventures. This is the path to true liberation. It's a continuous practice of stepping into the unknown, armed with the knowledge that on the other side of fear lies your greatest potential. We've covered a lot today, from the neurology of fear to practical exercises for dismantling it. We've learned that much of what holds us back are not real limitations, but stories we tell ourselves. By becoming aware of these stories, challenging them, and taking small, courageous steps, we can rewrite our own narratives. We can build resilience, practice self-compassion, and ultimately, learn to use fear as a compass for growth. This journey of deconstructing fear is the path to freedom, a freedom to live more fully, to pursue your passions, and to become the person you were always meant to be. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. I hope this gives you a new framework for understanding and working with your own fears. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more content on personal growth and liberation. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What's one fear you reworking on deconstructing? Let's continue the conversation. Thanks for watching.